Hi, everybody. This is Stephen Levine in the Sporting News studio, and I'm joined via telephone by Sporting News national columnist David Whitley. And David, the New Orleans Hornets have announced that they're going to be changing their mascot perhaps as soon as next season to the Fighting Pelicans, a mascot sure to instill fear in the hearts of their opponents.
Yeah, so far, however, it's just instilled some derision in the hearts of its fans from what I can tell. The initial reviews are not real strong for the Pelicans. I think when people conjure up the image of a pelican, they just see a long beak and a big fat chin, and it doesn't really strike fear in anybody's heart.
Yeah, but you can figure that the flying bird is a little bit better than the annoying flying insect, right?
Oh yeah, I think certainly they could have done a whole lot worse. I mean, the history of sports is full of real bonehead moves when it comes to picking names. But it's funny. I was reviewing it, and as bad as some of these names are, eventually just familiarity wears people down, and they sort of accept them. But at first, it's just a jolt, especially when you're renaming a franchise. It's sort of like coming home and finding that your child has renamed himself.
Right, without your permission, and that's never a good thing. But at least there's a continuity here with the location and the mascot. It's not like the Utah Jazz or the Los Angeles Lakers where there's a total disconnect.
Yeah, and I mean Utah, we can blame this whole thing on them, of course, because they took the name Jazz with them when that original franchise moved from New Orleans to Utah, and that still never made any sense because I was trying to think of your great Mormon jazz trombonist.
Right.
And, Miles Davis came to mind immediately, of course. But other than that, it made no sense. And, Lakers made sense when it was in Minneapolis, and Minnesota being the land of 10,000 lakes. But, even then, I think, had there been a Twitter poll in 1947 or whenever I think they got the name, I think most people, even in Minneapolis, would have said, that's a stupid name because, there are lakes everywhere, but what exactly is a laker?
Right.
It made no sense. But now, just through simple familiarity, we don't even think about it. Lakers, Los Angeles Lakers, rolls off the tongue. It's sports royalty. Although I do have a hard time picturing 30 years from now we'll be thinking of the New Orleans Fighting Pelicans, the same sort of sense as the Los Angeles Lakers.
Well, at least they went with an animal and not some sort of ethereal concept like magic or heat. I mean, you shouldn't have to come up with a secondary mascot just to create a costume for your team.
Yeah, I live in Orlando myself, and I never have quite gotten used to that. If nothing else, you never know whether to call it a singular or a plural. Are you a magic or magics, and call the players the magicians? And same thing with the heat. I mean, for a while, sports went through this sort of weather system thing because there was the Tampa Bay Lightning that came along, and there's the Carolina Hurricane. I was thinking. There are hurricanes in Carolina, but boy, that would have been a really bad name for Tom Benson to choose for his New Orleans team.
Yeah, I think he would have. I'd talk about public derision over the Pelicans. Just imagine if he had chosen the Hurricanes. And there's this whole domino effect because now Charlotte may reclaim the name Hornets because I happen to think Bobcats is a much better mascot than Hornets. But, then what happens? Is somebody else going to grab the Bobcats if Charlotte gets rid of it?
Yeah, it's funny. I guess Bobcats came because the owner, Bob, and the name escapes me, but he owned BET, and he's a billionaire, and so he bought it. He just figured, well, my name's Bob, I'll name him Bobcats. And he's not the first guy to get put his name on it. I mean, we think back to the Cleveland Browns, again, it's become accepted. Oh, what's a Cleveland Brown? People think maybe a color. Of course, it's actually named after the Paul Brown, the original coach, and it makes you think, well, it's just a good thing his name wasn't like Jim Schwartz, because we'd be calling the Cleveland Schwartzes at this point,
or the New York Steinbrenners. That would be a good one.
Yeah, so I think all this will blow over. As I said, people just get used to it, and it's not just a sports thing. I was thinking way back. This is before a lot of people signed, but when Ed Sullivan introduced the Beatles to America in 1963, people didn't think insect, even though they spelled it differently. But if someone just told you the name of my group is the Beatles, maybe they go, that's a stupid name. But 2 billion hit records later, nobody thinks anything about it.
Right. New Orleans gets themselves a championship, and nobody's going to care who their mascot is.
Yeah. Oh, and, I mean, heck, we may all be wearing Pelican beaks at that point.
It's a good look. It's a good look. All right. That's David Whitley, national columnist for Sporting News. I'm Stephen Levine in the Sporting News studio. Thanks a lot for watching.